fun. We had an early start. We figured it would take some time to get through the mountains. It was the time of year we didn't know if we were running into some weather or not. We had Monarch Pass to go through, which by the way was a real blast to drive in my new car. I enjoyed the hell out of that. We got through the pass, and the guy there was a pretty nice guy. He was interested in the new car. He'd never seen one of the cars like I've got, the Dodge Challenger, and he killed some time with us. It took about an hour for us to get through that point, and as we got closer to Telluride, the scenery really started to get nice. The trees were turning, the colors were beautiful. It was just unbelievable. Unfortunately, by the time we got to the town, it was late enough that the sun was starting to set for that time of year, so we didn't get much time to do anything that first night there. There was a lot of anticipation coming into the town, and it was an old town. It was an old mining town. I'd heard that, but I didn't quite expect what we saw. It was really a nice town. After we got settled in, we got ready, we got cleaned up, and we figured we'd go up there and have some dinner because they told us there was a nice restaurant up there. And boy, when we got on that gondola, it was just one heck of a ride. It's like that thing went probably thousands of feet above the city, and you could look down on the city of Telluride and realize how small it actually was. And then it went over down into the city, the mountain city. And when we got to the mountain city, that was unbelievable. It was a brand new city just on the other side of the old city of Telluride. And here's a brand new city with a 5-star hotel. It's just a city within itself. It was unbelievable. The medallion hunt had a $5,000 prize if you could find the medallion, and it wasn't limited to any particular area. It was the complete town of Telluride. It could have been anywhere. So we started looking for it, and we started asking people about some of the clues, and the medallion was hidden by somebody that had been in that town for 40 years. We searched high and low. We actually spent one whole day at the summit of the mountain because one of the clues was you could look high, you could look low, and you could see everything. And so we figured it was at the summit of the mountain. And on the last day of the hunt, we talked with some of the local people and told them about the clues. And they told us about a statue that gets dressed up when you first come into the town. We didn't find anything. On the last day of the show, they announced who found the medallion. And when they did that, they told us who it was, where it was, and what time it was. Well, we come to find out we missed finding that medallion by about 30 minutes. The people got it and we didn't. A party that Ray and Anita put on at one of the hangars at the Telluride airport one night. They had some guest speakers come in. One of them was one of the original Tuskegee Airmen. The other one was, I believe his name was Jerry. He was one of the Secret Service people for John Kennedy. And he was there because of a display that Ray had acquired through a friend of his to bring to the show that had the ambulance that John Kennedy rode in. They had his wife's car there. They had several different vehicles from John Kennedy. And they also had one of the Tuskegee Airmen's airplanes there. It was really a nice night. Everyone was really just involved with this Tuskegee Airman. He's 93 years old. He gave a speech like you wouldn't believe. He just had some stories to tell. He was one of the originals. Jerry, the Secret Serviceman for John Kennedy, he was very good also. And after the party, everybody started clearing away, and I offered to stay and help pick up some of the stuff, put the stuff away. And in doing so, I lost my ride to town because the last shuttle had left. Well, Jerry and his wife were still there, and they offered me a ride into town. And on the way home, he told us about 3 or 4 stories about his time with Lyndon Johnson and being in the White House. And one of them was, I don't want to go into detail about it because it was a pretty long story, but it ended up being a breakfast in Mexico that the Secret Serviceman did not like. So he could have gotten in trouble for it because he was the head Secret Service guy for Lyndon Johnson, but it ended up they went to Mexico for breakfast one day, which was pretty amazing to me.